This is a recipe that we did a couple years ago. I absolutely love homemade pizza, which is one of the reasons I wanted to get some canned up in my own pantry. I also like to make it into calzones, so I'm going to show you how I do both of those. We've already made and rolled out our pizza dough. There's a link in the description below if you need to see how to do that. But you can do this with any pizza dough recipe. You can even do it with some of the store-bought ones if you want to. Step number 1 is to make sure that you put your dough onto a pan. The next step is to put your sauce on your dough. I start with it in the center. Probably not quite half of a pint-sized jar. For my pizza today, I'm doing ham, pineapple, and mushroom as my toppings. So I always do my meat first. You know, anything that's going to be flat first. You can put them on top of the cheese. The only problem with putting them on top of the cheese is that they're going to get dried out. So if it's something like pepperoni or bacon bits that you kind of want to be crispy, then by all means put it on top of the cheese. But otherwise, I put all my toppings underneath the cheese to keep some of that moisture in. And I'm going to do my pineapple and just kind of put that intermixed throughout. Some people have issues with pineapple on pizza. I don't really get that. I like the sweet and savory mix though, so maybe that's why. And then it's time for the mozzarella cheese. You can do different kinds of cheeses and it's kind of fun to try different things. But I really think that the mozzarella is a good base because it melts so well for this. Our pizza is all ready. I'm going to put it in the oven at 450 degrees for 15 minutes. Now it's time to start my calzone. For that, start similarly. Go ahead and place that right in the center of my pan. I can scoot it over just a little bit here because it doesn't matter if that flops off the edge, since I'm going to be folding it over the top anyways. And then I only put the sauce on one side. Okay, and I'm going to go with the same toppings. I do find that with the calzones, I like to go a little thicker in the ingredients just because it does have that dough that's going across the top as well. And so I want there to be enough flavor in there that we really get that. You can substitute these for anything, you know. You can do olives, you can do red peppers, you can, you know, tomatoes. There's so many options. But these are one of our favorites. And now I'm going to do something that might seem absolutely wrong to you, and that is I'm not going to put any cheese inside. And that's because I found I actually really like it if I add it later to the top. So at this point, I'm folding it over. Actually, we found out that we liked it this way because of an accident. I forgot the cheese one time, but it was so good that we decided that this is how we were going to make it from now on. So this can be a little hard because of the sauce. It gets in the way sometimes. I got mine a little close to the edge there, so there's some sticking out, but that's okay. And the big thing is just press it together using your fingers or fork. You just want that first like half an inch or so to be pressed together. So then you fold over again, but this time you're folding it up to the top of that area that you've just kind of merged together. And I feel like this is really what kind of holds it so that it doesn't come undone. And then I just take my thumb and I go around the whole bit of it again, just kind of sealing that in, you know. Because the calzone is so much thicker, it's going to need a little bit more time in the oven, but I don't want it to burn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it with tin foil initially for the first 15 minutes. This is what you want. You want the edges nice and crispy, the top lightly golden just on the higher spaces, and nice gooey melted cheese otherwise. Now we take off our foil. So then all I do is I put my cheese right on the top. It actually makes it look so pretty once it gets all melted down. It's a little bit tricky because you've got to keep it from falling off, because anything that falls on the pan, that's just going to burn. And then what I do is I take just a little bit of dried basil. I suppose you could do fresh if you wanted to. And I just sprinkle it on the top. And then you put it back in the oven and allow that cheese to melt and for it to get nice and just kind of golden right at the edges. And now you can see why I would like to do that cheese on top. Isn't that so pretty? Hard to complain about that, huh? Put that on your kids' plate. They're gonna love dinner. Much cheaper for you, healthier for the kids. Everybody enjoys it. So you have how to make your pizza and how to make your calzone.